I'm Lori Rose. I'm here to talk about entertainment and media with you. I love making videos and I love talking, and this is perfect. And I went to Epic Universe last month and I have so many feelings. So much, I'm making it a 3-part series. Part 1 is what I'm doing today, obviously. This is part 1, it says in the, caption. Spoilers, I'm gonna reveal that in a second. Part 2 is my actual review of the park. I'll go through, I'll talk about it, the review. And part 3 is a more in-depth review on accessibility. I have pots and who knows what else, frankly. My body is falling apart. So, when I can get it, I get an accessibility pass because it helps me out. And I also have gluten-free things, so we'll talk about food accessibility too. Those are my 3 parts. They'll be released all at the same time, as you could see, because I'm just gonna drop them all. There's like no videos on this channel other than the book one, which I made a 4th video. That video is more introductory style. I talk about me, what I like, to know me, and I talk about the book video there. I'm done. What's this video about? Oh my god, great question, Grogu. What is this video about? First of all, let me introduce you to this very sugary drink that I have drank over half of. It is a 7 Brew Fizz with strawberry, watermelon, and coconut syrup with coconut milk. Sugar syrups. It's bright pink. It's low-key drying my mouth out, but it's so delicious. Today I'm talking about the buzzword that's everywhere in kind of any form of media and marketing and entertainment. It's immersive. We're talking about immersiveness, immersive experiences, immersive entertainment, immersive rides, the whole lot. So I'm gonna have this kind of sectioned, again, more organization of video topics into 3 parts. First, I'm going to talk about Universal Epic Universe, comparing 2 lands that I think really show a difference. Then I'm going to do a little bit on Disney and the same kind of thing. And then I'm going to talk about where I think we can go and what I think the future lies on theme parks. So let's get going. In comparing 2 theme park lands, I really want to talk about Isle of Berk and what Ministry of Magic, Paris, fantastic, the Harry Potter land at Epic Universe. These kind of show 2 sides of the coin that is immersive theme park experiences. First, with Harry Potter, you walk in and it is the most detailed, incredible thing you've ever seen. The set pieces are beautiful. You feel like you're just locked in Paris and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And you're walking around and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then you get to the ride and you're like, oh, the entrance is so cool. I didn't like the ride. Sue me. And the ride was part of the reason I went to Epic Universe. I went there this early. I went there June 9th. So not even a month after opening. And I went there that early because I wanted to not get spoilers for Harry Potter, Battle at the Ministry, and for Monsters Unchained. I like animatronics, I like storytelling, I didn't want to be spoiled for the story or the visuals. We get in line and, we get there and they're like, oh, the ride's down. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. And they give us little return time cards. Cool, great. So we go, we leave, we come back, and we get in the line. What I'm assuming will be the Fast Pass, whatever their pass is called. First, bad experience. The flue didn't work for us. There's no smoke, so it was just green the whole time. And I got a video of it. It's really, really embarrassing, because I had my brother take a video, and I was walking through, it's oh, I'm gonna look so cool for TikTok. And then it didn't work. That's fine. It's crazy the one that, accessibility one doesn't work and the regular ones were, but whatever. And you know what? The queue is detailed. It's immersive. It's so beautiful. It's gorgeous. They clearly dedicated a lot of time and energy and creative powers to making this queue so immersive and wonderful. And then we got to the ride, and the ride vehicles were, all right. No complaints. Not spectacular. So we sat down, and then we were you are tossed around in the ride a good bit just by the nature of the ride vehicle and the ride track. And I couldn't quite follow what was happening. Okay. And then, we got off. I was like, oh, that was it? Okay. say if I waited 3 hours for that ride, I would have thrown a fit in a really crazy way. But we didn't. And then the Harry Potter show was down all day, so we didn't get to see that either, which is okay, you know. It's an animatronic show that will go down. Not offended by it. And then the other thing to do in that land is to buy an $80 wand. You can buy an $80 wand and flick your wrist and then the thing will happen. And I watched some people do it. I didn't buy a wand though. So, you know, after we had, granted, a very, very good sandwich and rode the ride, and we watched some street performers, we were out of there. So fast. What else is there to do other than take pictures, which is fun for a time. I'm there to get experiences. I'm here to experience things that don't cost me $80. Then we go right next door to Isle of Berk, where, you know, you walk in and you get to ride a roller coaster that's super fun, that's so on theme for the land, and you could see it like going over the water as you enter, and it's like, whoa. And then you see the you know, I always get those two confused. The flat ride where there's like, you know, the dragons and you're spinning around and you see that and you're like, whoa, that's so cool. It's a themed flat ride. I love that. And then you've got Fire Drill, which was really a standout for me. I was not expecting to love it. I wasn't even planning on riding it. And then it was really hot and I was like, oh, sure, I'll go on it. And we had a blast. It was so much fun. So it's 3 rides. 2 of them are flat ride style. 1 is a coaster. And then a show in the Untamable Dragon. And it was a blast. I loved it. That was another thing that I wanted to see Epic Universe for, was this show. It was incredible. And then you can meet Toothless and Hiccup, which is a great experience. I didn't get to do it because the wait was over an hour all day. That just wasn't like super prioritized for me. I think if it was a priority, I kind of would have gone there first instead of rope dropping Nintendo like we did. Whatever, it's okay. You got the walk around animatronic characters, the walk around people characters, animatronics everywhere, and a playground. You could spend a lot of time there. And while wait times can be long for these flat rides and also the coaster, if the waits are short, you can keep riding them. Like, you can just keep on going. That's fun. Maybe if the park had more themed flat rides. Like, you know, those 2. Yoshi, I'll give props to. I loved Yoshi. I thought it was so cute and fun and good for kids. But this is, you know, where we're getting at. Why the lack of themed flat rides? So you want more of the lower tiered rides to fill up your day and to let the kids do stuff and let people who maybe don't, you know, can't do the super immersive rides for health reasons or another, give us a whip. Speaking of whips, Disney World. Toy Story Land has a whip style ride that is heavily themed. Not heavily, it's themed. And it's wonderful, beautiful, amazing. And then there's a coaster, which is super fun. And then there's Midway Mania, which I don't want to get into, but people love it. And a themed dining. How great is that? Could it use a show? Yeah, but I think most things could use a show. The only problem with these kinds of attractions is when the whole park is them. It's when it's motion simulator and 3D movie after another. But if you've got a couple to fill your day up, that sounds perfect. That sounds like we've got a balance going, which is what some of these places don't have. Like Galaxy's Edge, no balance. You've got, you know, Rise of the Resistance, which is maybe one of my favorite attractions. Millennium Falcon, which is fine, but I mean, they're already redoing it, so isn't that crazy? Grogu. I mean, I'm happy he's coming. I like him. Obviously, because I've got my baby right here. Wave to the crowd. What else can you do in Galaxy's Edge other than these 2 rides? And maybe only one of them if you get motion sick, like crazy. You could spend money at a bar, which, like, you don't have to be above the age to drink because they have non-alcoholic drinks there. You could eat, you could shop, you could spend $100 to build a droid, or you could spend $300 to build a lightsaber. And you could take pictures. Because everything immersive seems to be just keyword for take an Instagram, which I don't hate. I love taking the Instagrams and the videos and posting them and making TikToks. I think it's fun and wonderful. But balance. And that's kind of where I want to go next, is thinking about what is coming next in the parks that may be more balanced, where sure, it's an immersive land and you get to see all these cool things, but there are things to do. I think what we're going to see is success at the Cars attractions in the Magic Kingdom, where, well, they might not be their own full land, they're a mini land in kind of a broader sense. That's what's gonna succeed the most, I think. In that area, there is a lot to do. There's shows, there are rides, there's kid rides, there's, coaster, and now we're gonna have another super fun family, slightly older kid, test track style, so whoever can ride test track will probably be able to ride this. And then also a kid ride that we don't know what it is going to be yet. I think that is going to be really successful in that if you don't want to ride that, you can go somewhere else. And it's really close. And you're not kind of secluded off. But it's still themed environment, themed storytelling that we are used to. What I'm more afraid of is the Villains Land, because I don't quite think that's gonna do as much. Hopefully they do a coaster and a dark ride, and maybe a flat ride. That's my ideal world with the Villains Land. Something that I know is gonna make me mad, which is sad because I am really excited for it, is Monsters, Inc. It replaced Muppet Vision. It looks like they're putting a new show in there. So we'll have a show and then the coaster. But that's only 2 things. And we could add another thing in there. Hopefully they add a playground. I will take a playground as a thing, as an experience. Because even if the whole family can't do it, that is another thing you could say, oh, you can do this here. That's not just walk or spend money. That's my biggest thing, is that if I go to a theme park, I don't want half the stuff I want to do have to cost me extra money. And I'm not talking about like Fast Pass, Lightning Lane, whatever passes. I'm talking strictly, if you want to do this activity, you've got to pay money, which is a lot of these new immersive lands. And I get it. These companies need to make their money back because they spend so much money on these rides, and I'm thankful because they're fun. But maybe, and this also comes back to, can we budget more accurately as we start these projects? You have these grand ideas for a theme park. We see it all the time with Blue Sky and concepts and like leaked stuff. Is like, oh, this is what's gonna be. Even with Epic, they had all these celestial characters in the center of the park that told its story, and they cut it. And you know what? Celestial Park, it's super fun. I don't know what's going on in there. The only reason I know a little bit is because the internet. What I'm trying to say, and it's kind of a bit rambly, I have a script, but I'm kind of going off the cuff here. We need to understand balance in these theme park rides, that sometimes having only the best and the most expensive and technological ride is not the best thing for the theme park. Sometimes having a really cool immersive ride plus 1 or 2 other rides and then maybe an experience or a show, that is where we more need to land and be excited for and kind of rooting for. Oh my gosh, another thing I'm really excited for, Tropical Americas. Big, exciting thrill ride that also a lot of the family can ride. Little kids can ride that. And Encanto Dark Ride. I think there's a playground still. Thank God. And a carousel. A themed flat ride. Don't mind my band-aid, I got a bug bite on my wrist. I'm excited to go into part 2. This is kind of a primer for that, specifically because I will be ranking some lands that people have really high, really low. And not because I don't think they're very well themed and executed in the design standpoint, because as a theme park land as a whole, where you have to look at every component, if I'm gonna be upset that I waited 3 hours in line for a ride that's kind of subpar, and then walk out in the land and have not much else to do, I'm gonna be disappointed. And many people, I think, are. I think there are also strengths to highlight in this, like Isle of Berk and Nintendo World. There are a lot of reasons I don't like Nintendo World. The amount of attractions and experiences are not that. I was talking about that $80 wand earlier. I spent $50 on the bracelet thing to play the games. They are, granted, you pay money, and I don't love that, but it's actual interactive things. You're not just waving a wand. You are turning a crank. You are pressing buttons. You are moving around, and you get like a final thing at the end that was honestly a lot of fun. Like, we only had 2 for a group of 3 of us, and we still all 3 got to go to do the final challenge. It doesn't matter if you have a band or not. You can all play the games on the same watch, and you'll just like rack up a bunch of points and redo stuff, which is okay if you want to do that. Doesn't matter. And then you can all do the thing together, and you have fun, little interactive stuff all around. You earn points. It's a game, and that's, I think is a lot more successful. Just give me things to do. And I don't think that your Epic Universe Day is empty, but I do think a lot of it is spent in line. That leads me right into part 2, my review. Thank you for watching. I know this is not going to be the most popular. I know this is not going to be the most popular opinion because, you know, immersive is the buzzword. It's what people want in kind of all aspects of everything. And I like immersive things. I like being immersed. But I also like to have a fun time while I'm immersed. And I like a classic Disneyland is my favorite park. And I like a immersive, broad themed land. Adventure. What does that mean? Who knows? Pirates is in Adventureland and in not Port Orleans, and in the New Orleans section. Yeah, I know this is all over the place. I'm trying my best. I've got so much sugar coursing through my veins. You can follow me on TikTok. I post there pretty much every single day. Every day I have posted there recently, so cool. If you could, subscribe and ring the notification bell. I'll have a new video here every single week about something nerdy, entertainment-based, media-based. I love talking. I'm very happy to talk to you. I hope you have a very good rest of your day. Thank you for watching again. Let me know in the comments your opinions on themed entertainment and the buzzword immersive. Next time I will have a script. Not next time, because my next is a review, but when I'm done talking about Epic Universe, I will have a script. I've got one written anyway. Bye!